As anyone who follows me knows, I was badly injured by Seattle and Tacoma. But there are certain things I've learned here that have made me feel that it was worthwhile and purposeful for me to come here. Foremost was the discovery of the song Now You See It from This Gun for Hire with Veronica Lake, which corroborates my belief that Hollywood Axis espionage resulted in a Houdini. Also, people who know me realize that I very certainly have become interested in the Cubist relationship with Lysender's in literature and cinema, and Ouspensky, the fourth dimensional psychologist. I propose in this video to show the way 19th century ideas of Henry Bergson, which influenced Lysender's on biological theories of cinema, informed the murderous post office union who recently killed several Kennedys, and how Queen Elizabeth came to control it so that her vassal, Penis Gabriel, would pipe up the central premise of the operation, how that premise drove their assassination program. Media is organized to help pull this off, and it was obvious that the reason Mount Desert Island was never reported is that everything learned there led to conclusions that would have interfered with media's presentation about the situation in Ukraine. Notice their decordery in the monotonous, pedantic concept of Nazism used to refute that any Jew could be one which states that Nazism, that any Jew could be one. No Jew could be a Nazi, they said. And this relies on the monotonous and pedantic concept of Nazism that states that Nazism was a particular party in a particular decade in Germany and dissociates it from a broader and more accurate belief about Nazism, being that they had subscribed to the idea that the ends justifies the means, which in this case is what the gobbler for Penis Gabriel, Amanda Harcourt, meant by saying the whole was greater than the sum of its parts concerning the fake discovery of their own script when I was in a medical library in 1984. So what I'm trying to develop is an understanding of these matters that allows me to find their central thinking and why it is sufficiently influential that the people who are committing Holocaustal crimes can bemoan, oh, we have to do it because you are the immoral ones. And the idea that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts does mean the same thing as the ends justifies the means in this case. But that's not the central theme that Gabriel expresses. His central theme is syncopated to Henry Bergson's concept of biological cinema, which they hotwired into Hollywood for an Axis revenge platform based on heaviosity about superstition, a parochial mindset that is expressed clearly by Alexander Dugin when he says that mankind has to go back to the crossroads and follow tradition rather than the Enlightenment where we made the wrong turn. This same crossroads is exhibited in the letters of Gail Carolyn Burson that were adopted by and written by Her Majesty's government. But you can see the way that they see it just by rewording Henry Bergson's biological metaphor um, into a call that was a logical notion about peep show abortion, which was, of course, where Jack Ruby came in as a peep show operator when Capitol Records, the Beatles, was located in Dallas, and he owned the Carousel Club, being for the benefit of Mr. Kite. So the invisible hand of Bly Sanders and the fourth dimensional Houdini that is at work can change sex and become an invisible marriage. And marriage is, of course, holy matrimony. So they're having a martial law discussion to cleanse Europe of the idea that using force against innocent people wasn't necessary, which it wasn't. And you got a mindset that comes from Pittsburgh and their harboring of the special details who went insane. Special detail were Jews who gassed other Jews. When they attacked me, the Axis used to say, the barking mad Yancers would say, you think you're better than us. Of course, it was an allusion to the atom bomb and the way that people behave in extreme situations. In Seattle, they have a 50-cent room that they gave me overlooking the main thoroughway in the Bush Hotel, MP Hotel, and it's like a madcap little Kennedy assassination model. And they had this place called He Go. Where did he go? It's a Houdini about Hitler that they've encrypted into a supernatural context, a supernatural idea of our surroundings to vindicate themselves by carrying on about abortion. I think people who liberalize abortion need to know that they're empowering this structure if they don't, which they may. That may be why they're refusing to teach sex education in schools, is because they want to pull this. They're not supernatural. They're just Nazis working war as a form of art, art for art's sake. Like supernatural ideas come from Freud, the dreams that come from the it. Michael Todd used to say to me, why don't you just die? And it's the idea that Brecker used to say, you could kill somebody with your mind. And Ian Wadmaker used to say, step on a crack, break your mother's back. And of course, we've seen the way my poetry is used for trigger things. So if you want somebody dead, your wish is my command, is their concept. And yet, Hollywood is structured around Don Rickles' ideas. Oh, we'll just put some poison in the food and not meaning it. It's just the first dimension, the First Amendment, that there's a difference between saying something like tired her up and doing it. So this is a dialogue that they're weighing in on by saying that if your soul isn't pure, then you are not pure, and somebody's going to get hurt. And this is Penis Gabriel's concept writ large, which is his contribution that if it doesn't come out one place, it will come out another if you harbor aggression. They follow Tama Jadong and Viktor Frankl, and they called it Operation Medicine. We'll zap this symbol, we'll zap that symbol, and we'll go back and forth playing Yojimbo, kill white, kill black, clear the air, they call it. And this is the British, Foreign Service High Command work. And they have German and Jewish pornography partners justifying child molestation in the names of filmmakers from the Third Reich. You have Peter Gabriel's shifty dealings with cinema operators. You know, the incredible syncopation timing and of that brilliant album Passion, and Passion sources to the Last Temptation clock to the attack as though it wasn't planned, you know, because he's appealing for loyalty from the victims. And you know, he's a horse's derriere. What you need to know is that Charles Bronson was central. The idea of the death wish. That's what the Ace of Spades is. The death wish. I wish you were dead. And that means, see, the Jews had to live with their hatred. And so they started acting out. They theorized the whole thing based on the idea of Jimmy acting out a desire for sexual penetration when he was unrequited. It's all their mentality. They call it mentalization. And my goal in discussing these issues is not to tell you that violence in cinema is being normalized and abortion is being normalized and these things are simpatical, then they should be subject to question and review by our public health authorities. It's not to do that. I'm not discouraging review and discussion of these matters, quite to the contrary. What I'm saying is these Holocausters are just maniacs seeking revenge and depredating on the social consciousness of concerned citizens.